Greetings, everyone in franchise land. From Silver Chef Franchise Finance Queensland, John Huey, your relationship manager for the state. Today we're going to look at Rent, Try, Buy, our traditional and flagship rental product. So what you have in front of you is the brochure that we have created for franchise. So I'm just going to scroll down, and as we get through to the sections, I'm going to explain the benefits and features and how the product is in fact used. So as we go down the list, there's the young man making a pizza there. Rent, Try, Buy, as the name suggests. A bit about Silver Chef, many of you might know, 30 years old. We're a specialist hospitality industry finance company. Basically, we fund hospitality-related equipment. So pretty much anything you have to plug, draws gas or power in your kitchen. And in the case of franchise, obviously that includes menu boards and various other bits and pieces, including furniture and things like that as well. So we can get into that at a later time. You might even want to give me a call about your specific needs. But 30 years in the business, we're comfortable with the risk in hospitality because that's all we do. So we know hospitality back to front. Arguably the biggest finance company, specialist finance company in Australia for hospitality businesses, both franchise and non-franchise. We're on the exchange. You can look us up. The important thing here is, I like this particular one, Net Promoter Score of 65. When you compare that to Apple, which is around about 60-70%, and you know how popular Apple as a computer company is, that's a pretty good achievement. So Net Promoter Score just simply means when we do surveys, are you most likely to recommend Silver Chef to your friends, colleagues, business associates, and so forth. Give you an idea, banks, who you would also be using, tend to be down in the negative numbers, -5, -10, when you think the scale is 0 to 100. So I just thought I'd point that out because I think it's important that you understand that over time, through many, many surveys and a good cross-section of opinions, we've maintained a very high would you recommend Silver Chef rating. All right, why Rent, Try, Buy? Basically, it's a rental agreement. So think budget rent-a-cars. You know, when you go down to rent a car when you're on holiday, you are renting equipment from us. We will buy it, we will own it, and then we will simply rent it to you for at least a minimum 12-month agreement. That's the term of the agreement to avoid any nasty penalties if you want to sort of break out of it and this sort of thing early. It's a 12-month agreement. It's unsecured lending. Now, it's important we mention there, there's unsecured and then there's unsecured, if you know what I mean. Banks talk about unsecured lending, but they've got charges over your company. They've got personal guarantees, which they, in fact, will drive home and enforce on. Often they've got other things with you as well, mortgages. So you sort of can imagine there's a dotted line between an unsecured loan and your mortgage. So bottom line is, if it all goes a bit pear-shaped or they just decide to change their minds, the whole thing can go pretty pear-shaped for you very quickly. So just be very careful. There's unsecured with a little u, which I would classify as most banks and other finance companies, meaning they've got a dotted line to grab you if you obviously want to exit the arrangements. And then there's genuine unsecured, which I believe is what we do. Very, very rarely do we take directors' guarantees, and we only take a charge over the specific assets that we're financing. So, it's a co-investment arrangement. We're really getting in there with you to make sure that you have as much flexibility as possible, because frankly, we need you to be successful in order to minimize our risk. And that's the critical thing to point out here. Payments are 100% tax deductible. We just want you to keep your cash in your business. Hospitality is tough enough. I tell you what gets you into trouble is not usually how much finance costs on a piece of equipment out the back. It's usually lack of marketing spend. It's usually lack of resourcing, being staffing, both numbers of staff to accommodate your growth, but also, frankly, paying people well and getting good quality staff. That's where we need you to spend your cash, not financing expensive equipment that you might then have to pay out if those things become obsolete. So I think if you're going to spend any money, you might as well rent it if you think that there's going to be a need to upgrade it or change it after 12 months. So how's it work? You choose the equipment from your nominated franchise dealer. If you don't have one, or you feel as though you're doing a bit too much of the equipment dealer's job, we would obviously be more than happy to recommend our very reputable and trusted Silver Chef accredited dealers. So please do call me on that. You start your 12-month rental agreement, as you can see there. It's pretty cost effective. You just look at the weekly repayment, work out whether or not that's affordable, and you can upgrade or purchase the item at any time So as you know, hospitality changes quickly. If you want to upgrade that oven, you want to upgrade that coffee machine, dishwasher, ice maker, you name it, because there's a new whiz-bang one out there, then obviously we will allow you to go up and upgrade at any time. Purchase, yeah, if you want to own it, if you decide, yep, actually, I rented it, I tried it, and I really want to own this thing, then you can purchase at any time and we'll give you some healthy rebates to try and make it attractive. Keep in mind, we want you to own the equipment if it's right for you. We don't want to have a warehouse full of equipment um, if we can avoid it, so we're going to make it attractive for you to own it. At the end of 12 months, you can continue renting. If you want to just give it a bit longer or you're happy with the equipment, you can then purchase it, as I said. Or if you don't have the cash to do that, you can go onto our easy own 36-month contract, 3-year contract, and that's essentially a hire purchase where you would then own it from that day onwards and pay it down to nothing. We'll also give you a nice big rebate there to make it attractive for you to do that if that's what you want to do. Benefits. Okay. Again, preserve that working capital. Cash is king. Don't sink what cash you have into things that go whizzy out the back in your kitchen, but you really still need to spend money to get a human being standing on the other side of the counter that orders a product that makes you money that machine produces. Keep that in mind. Your rental payment's 100% tax deductible, no different if you were renting trucks or vehicles. You can give it a go. Give it a go. I mean, if you're an ice cream store and you want to try waffles, maybe waffles is the long-term plan. Maybe it isn't. Maybe you want to try a second coffee machine to see if there's enough demand. If there's not, well, give yourself 12 months to find out. So that's the try part. You want to try and introduce new menu items. You need equipment for it, slushy machines, juices, whatever. If after 12 months there isn't enough demand for that, you can always give it back to us. That's the absolute flexibility of our product. You can upgrade at any time. New products come out all the time, new ovens, toasters, you name it. You can always move because efficiency is the critical thing in business. Okay, you don't want obsolete equipment that's not keeping up with your growth, and you definitely don't want things out of warranty where if they break down at the worst possible time, it's going to cost you twice as much to get it fixed. Not to mention all the bush doctoring you have to do on it to try and keep it going. Very simple and quick. Silver Chef is fast. Most of the stuff is pre-approved anyway. If you've got a pre-approved limit, we will fund you in literally days. Unlike a bank, we don't have oodles and oodles of paperwork to sign. There's none of that. Renting is off balance sheet. So chat to your accountant about what that means, which means that it doesn't affect your capacity to borrow elsewhere. If you want to buy the premises you're in, you've got to go to a bank for that, right? So this doesn't appear on your balance sheet. It doesn't affect your solvency. But again, get some accounting advice on that. And if you're an accredited franchise, which most of you out there that I would be sending this to would be, there are further benefits, obviously preferential rates, etc., and additional services that come with it. What's this here? If one thing is for certain, your business will grow and change. Trialing or giving equipment a go, or at least renting equipment that gets a lot of use. Wok burners, toasters, ovens, fridges that open and shut 300 times a day. Want to keep that stuff in warranty. I mean, you want to make sure that you can upgrade. This is the strong reason to rent some of this stuff. Okay, so as we go down, some great little close-up shots of, looks like a smoothie. Here you go. Contact us today. My number, 0429 500 921. So you can call me directly if you're a franchise. I'm here to help you. Think of me as a concierge in a hotel, probably best way to do it, or a project manager. What I'm here to do is make sure that what it is you need, we specifically tailor a solution for you and your particular franchisee and franchise system, but also to make sure there are no hassles. I have a zero hassle policy with my franchisee and franchisor clients. So if there's any sort of an issue at all, you ring me and I'll give it a go. So that's me, John Huey, Franchise Relationship Manager for Queensland, signing out, and thank you. Rent, try, buy.